We're back on AN Life, and I'm here with Anelie Belden. Good
Hello,
morning.
good morning. It's great to be here again.
I always love having you on.
Oh, it's such a delight. I always love being here.
Well, and I should introduce you as author and quilter.
Yes.
Because you do have your beautiful little book here that we've shown before, and it's
do.
Thoroughly Modern Dresden, and this is in the 6th printing, right?
It is.
Yeah.
I was just notified from my publisher
Yeah.
we're going to do another printing, which we always hold our breath. Are
Yeah.
we going to have enough sales for another printing? And there was, so I'm so excited about that.
Congratulations.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So you have, again, with you, you always bring your beautiful quilts.
Yeah.
Let's talk about first the ones hanging here.
These are two of my newer designs.
Yeah.
The heart one here is called Heartthrob, and it was what I did was I entered the block, the heart block, which has the curved edges here are made using my Dresden technique.
Yeah.
And I entered that into Quilt Makers magazine, and they wanted to do it as a piece, as a little wall hanging.
Yeah.
Which I was excited about.
Yeah.
So they did, and I just love it, and it's been very popular. A lot of guilds have been wanting me to teach that, so it's been really good.
Is it easy to do?
You know, that's kind of relative, because you get someone who just takes to it, and then you get someone else who just struggles. So when someone asks me that, it's like, oh, it just kind of depends on the person.
Yeah, exactly.
I personally don't feel it's not one of the hardest blocks to do in quilting, but it's not one of the easiest either. So.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, good. Okay, and then we have this one.
This one here also, I
colors.
submitted the star block into Quilt Makers magazine, and they accepted the block. And in one of their magazines, they feature original block designs. So, and then I created this little wall hanging and several other wall hangings using the star block. So I'm beginning to teach this. Now, this piecing technique is very different. It's called paper piecing. And when you have really sharp points like this, now this is hard. I mean, this is not easy. And using a paper piecing technique makes it very doable.
What's paper piecing mean?
It's a very interesting technique where you have the design, you have the shape here that is printed on paper, and you're actually laying your fabric on the paper and sewing through the fabric and the paper and then flipping it over, and then as you're building it, the design appears.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's really a very cool technique.
Yeah,
a lot of quilters like it for its perfection. So
good, excellent.
Very fun.
How much does something like this go for, do you think? I mean, I probably
to sell it, you know, it's hard to say. A wall hanging like this from an author.
Yeah, exactly.
I probably could sell it for anywhere from $400 to $600.
Okay, wow.
But realistically, I think a small piece like that, a person maybe would only pay $100 or $200 for it. You know. But the time that goes into these, you know, I don't think people realize that. You see the quilts that are, you know, on sale that have been made overseas and that kind of thing for $80, you know, but the time that goes into these is just incredible.
Handmade.
Absolutely.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Good, excellent.
Yeah.
Okay, then you have this, let's talk about, you said the modern.
Yes, there's a new trend going on, and it's called modern quilting, and it started here in California, Los Angeles.
Of course.
Of course. And I love it. I just really love it. It's so funny to me because quilters, you have the traditional quilters that don't want change. They want to follow the rules. And what happened with modern quilting is that there's a younger crowd of women and men that are starting to quilt, and they don't have the time to do all this intricate piecing. So they've found a way to become creative, make these beautiful pieces that only take a very small amount of time. And the look is different. Now this piece, I apologize, isn't completely done. I just finished it. I'm binding it. This is, see how kind of open this is? And
so it's unstructured.
Exactly. And the piecing here was just kind of haphazard. There's not really any rules, you know. It's not a square. So it gives you freedom to, you know, exactly.
This would be something I could do.
And see, a lot of people are saying that. And this top, literally, I cut it and sewed it in one day.
Oh, wow.
It was very quick, you know, whereas I could spend 2-3 days just making a small piece like this.
That's so precision with that one.
Exactly. So the common factors of modern quilting is this kind of free-form piecing, and then what we call negative space, all this openness. You know, it's really big. It's not squares in a row. It's kind of unusual. And then this went so fast, I decided to do something fun on the back with my leftover pieces, which we'll flip it this way here, and which is also a very modern type
Oh,
quilting, where you have
cute.
one design and the rest is negative space.
Oh,
you know.
wow.
And then lots of quilting on it.
This does look very modern.
Yeah,
it's kind of like
Isn't
color
it
block.
fun?
Yeah,
Isn't
it
it
is.
fun?
I
I'm
really like
very excited about
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
But it is funny to me because when I talk to the traditional quilters, I say, "Oh, have you heard of modern quilting?" They're like, "Well, you know, I."
Yeah.
They're getting.
Well,
it's hard for them to get used to.
People don't like change. Most people don't
Exactly,
like change. So
exactly.
Good. But you got to break tradition sometimes
Yeah.
to get a new form of art.
Exactly,
You know,
and the way I feel is it's giving people an opportunity to enjoy this type of project without all of the time. So
Yeah,
even
yeah.
my daughter's like excited about it. So I'm
Yeah.
like, yay, you know.
Does your daughter quilt?
Not much,
Yeah.
not much. We do occasionally do projects together and sew things for around the house. But,
Yeah.
you know, women, I know when I was younger and I had the 3 children and work and a household to keep, it's hard to find time for
Yeah,
this. You know,
exactly,
so.
exactly. So this kind of opens things up for
Yeah,
people. Good.
yeah.
And then you have this beautiful, because I love the dramatic, the black.
Yeah, this
that's
is
really
one out
pretty.
of my book.
People can see that.
I call this one Royal Dresden.
That is so, this is amazing.
Thank you, thank
I
you.
love that. Yeah.
Yeah, this is a design, I call this a split blade, where we have the 2 different colors, and the blade is literally split in half. And then this is a continuous design where it's going around the quilt.
It kind of, because it has the variegated or whatever, the light and the dark, it kind of gives it some dimension.
Absolutely,
you know? Yeah,
absolutely.
yeah.
And people just really like that. It's very, very effective.
Rich looking.
So, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I'm hoping that all these beautiful quilts that are being made in Amador County will end up at the county fair that's
Yeah,
coming up.
yeah.
Can you believe it's here?
Oh my gosh, there's no place like home.
I know,
Yeah,
I
love
know.
the fair.
So it's
And
so exciting.
The,
Yeah.
fair, the quilting category is one of my favorites.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
absolutely
yeah.
just amazing.
They do a wonderful job of displaying them, and of course the Amador quilters do a great job. You know, we have 2 guilds here in the county.
Yeah.
And they both are very active within the county, and they really strive hard to get quilts entered in the fair. And I think that's why it's such a strong feature for our fair, you know.
Now, or is it too late to enter something?
It's not. No,
Okay.
it's not. So you can go to the local library and pick up there in Jackson and pick up the booklet that has all the forms and stuff in there for you
Good.
to enter.
To
So,
enter, good.
but you got to do it soon because we're getting
Yeah.
down to the wire
Do you think
here.
there'll be any of the modern designs entered, I wonder?
I'm thinking of entering this one just for
good.
fun.
Okay,
so
yeah, yeah.
we'll see. I don't know that there's anybody really doing it so much up here, but
You're a trendsetter.
I know, really. Go
I love
figure.
It. I love it. Good.
Yeah.
And in your book, where can someone get a copy of this book?
You know, the local quilt shop, the Sewing Cottage, carries my book in several patterns. I now have about 10 patterns, and I'm
Okay.
hoping to go to Quilt Market next year and sell patterns and stuff. I'm going to step it up a little bit.
Yeah,
so,
good,
Yeah,
good,
yeah.
good.
So they can go there and not only get the book, but I teach classes there. So if anyone's interested in learning how to quilt, they could jump in and.
And so, how much does this book cost?
It's $24.95.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, are you still involved? I know you're pretty busy now with teaching and things like that, but are you still involved with the local quilters guilds?
Yes.
Yeah.
I unfortunately haven't made the meetings because of travel and such, but yeah, both guilds, Sierra Gold Quilt Guild, they meet the first Tuesday up in Pine Grove, and then Motherlode Quilt Guild meets in Sutter Creek the 4th Monday at the Methodist Church.
Okay.
And they have a quilt show coming up in October. I'm sure I'll be here between now and then to talk about that and promote that too.
So do you guys are getting some younger ladies?
We are.
Yeah.
We actually have some in Motherlode Quilt Guild. We have 2 gals. They're cousins, I believe, or sisters. They're 11 and 13.
Great.
And recently we've had some younger women come in. You know, I hate saying that because I feel old, but younger than me.
Yeah, I know.
So yeah, we're seeing a trend of that, you know, and hopefully with the difference of the modern quilting and their sewing, I'm noticing more that they're making patterns for children's clothing. Are you seeing that more? The cute little outfits that you can make for the
little
kids.
bags, like
purses and
totes.
aprons. So
Aprons, yeah.
I think we're exploring into more things other than just quilting.
Yeah,
so.
absolutely. I love
Which is
it.
great. You know, it's hard because fabrics are expensive, especially good quality fabrics.
Yeah.
And that's one thing
Yeah,
about the
this looks
Sewing
expensive.
Cottage. Yeah, and to get the quality, the amount of time you spend in these quilts, you want to have good quality fabric.
Yeah.
And that's the nice thing about a quilt shop rather than a big, a box store or whatever. They carry, and they're known for carrying good quality. So you can be confident when you go in there. Yeah. That it's something that's going to last,
Good. We only have like 30 seconds left.
Okay.
So again, people can get can enter the fair still for their quilts, and they can get the little booklets at the Amador County Library.
Absolutely.
And definitely, if you have a quilt to enter, get that done.
Yes.
And it's one
Put
of our
that binding on.
Yeah, exactly. It's one of our favorite, I think, most treasured categories at the fair.
Yeah.
So good.
Yeah.
Well, Anelie, it's so good to have you on.
Good
this morning.
to
Good luck
be
with
here.
everything
Thank
you
you.
do. Yes.
Thank you very
And,
much.
we'll be right back.
Go to the fair.
Yes.